You're watching Camnet News. My name is Sharon Kalimbola. The top stories on our desk this evening. 4 former Twin Palm Secondary School pupils accused of murdering their colleague walk to freedom. Over 1.8 million worth of property destroyed, and political violence as ECZ lifts campaign suspension for the PF and the UPND in Lusaka. YUSUF DODIA questions viability of debt swap on future prospects. In international news, Mali president survives assassination attempt during Muslim prayer. And in sports news, Copper Queens plot Dutch 4. Let's take a breather. Join me shortly for the details.
Are you a small to medium enterprise looking to advertise your products and services within your community and across Zambia? In these economic times, we are here to help you grow your business. Advertise with us on Camnet Market. Camnet Market is offering lower rates for prime time advertising between 06 to 18 hours every day to give your business an edge under the new normal and beyond. For more details, contact us on the following numbers: 097 975 3010 or 096 296 5883, as well as 096 244 726. You can also reach us via email on info@camnettvafrica.com. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Once again, welcome to the news. The Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, has completely lifted the campaign restrictions slapped on the Patriotic Front and the United Party for National Development in Lusaka province. Speaking at a media briefing, Electoral Commission of Zambia Chief Electoral Officer Patrick Shindano says the commission engaged with leaders from the two political parties who have since signed a peace pledge to reassure that political violence comes to an end. And Inspector General of Police Kakoma Kanganja says 1,884,000 kwacha worth of property have so far been lost due to political fracas during this year's campaign period. Details in this report.
Two of Zambia's biggest political parties, the Patriotic Front PF and the United Party for National Development UPND, have signed an agreement to end political violence in Lusaka. This follows a meeting held on 19th July 2021 where the Electoral Commission of Zambia engaged leaders from the two political parties to devise ways of ending violence in Lusaka. And at a media briefing held in Lusaka Tuesday morning, ECZ Chief Electoral Officer Patrick Nshindano says the commission has fully lifted the physical campaign suspension slapped on the two political parties.
And in the spirit of moving forward, it was felt fit and desirous that the two political parties came together and indeed come up with resolutions that we hope that will basically be cascaded to all the structures of their political parties.
And PF Secretary General Davis Mwila took time to highlight some of the content in the agreement and has pledged that his party will not subscribe to violence.
1. All campaign activities must be held with strict adherence to the COVID-19 health guidelines.
3. The PF and the UPND should adhere to approved campaign schedules, and any changes to the campaign schedules must be approved by the Zambia Police.
In the premises, we urge and direct our members to strictly adhere to the code of conduct of elections. The party shall not protect anyone who willfully disobeys the law without any justified reasons.
And Inspector General of Police Kakoma Kanganja says 61 people have so far been arrested in connection with various political offences such as destroying of campaign materials, assault, damage to property, being in possession of offensive weapons, among other things.
As of yesterday, 19th July 2021, we have so far arrested 61 suspects for various offences.
Some suspects have already appeared in courts of law, while others are still being investigated. The value of property damage so far during political activities is 1,884,000 kwacha.
With physical campaigns in Lusaka now back on the trajectory, party leaders have a responsibility to tell their cadres not to engage in political violence as 24 days remain before the general elections. Prudence Chota. Reporting for Camnet TV News.
Patriotic Front Chawama office has been gutted, burning all belongings. Police spokesperson Esther Katongo says police have instituted investigations into a report of a fire incident which occurred on the 20th July 2021 at 02 hours, in which Patriotic Front Chawama constituency chairman Roger Sinkole reported the burning. Ms. Katongo says the fire brigade was activated and managed to put out the fire. She says the cause of the fire has not yet been ascertained, hence a joint investigations with the fire brigade has been launched to determine what caused the fire.
Police are investigating a report of fire incidents which occurred in the early hours of today at about 02 hours. The report was received from Roger Sinkole, aged 50, of Chawama compound, who is Chawama constituency chairman for the Patriotic Front. And he reported that the Chawama constituency office for the Patriotic Front was gutted, and all the belongings which were in the office were burnt to ashes. And the gutted items include Chitenge campaign materials, the T-shirts, speakers, megaphones, and foodstuffs. The fire was put out by the fire brigade, and as police, working in collaboration with the fire brigade, we have instituted investigations to establish the source of fire.
Meanwhile, Patriotic Front National Mobilization Committee member Bizo Mtale has called on all political leaders to denounce political violence being perpetuated in the country. Speaking to journalists after appearing on a radio program Tuesday, Mr. Mtale says President Edgar Lungu has been on firm ground condemning political violence, calling on all leaders to follow suit. Mr. Mtale has also challenged the international community to stop involving themselves in Zambia's affairs and allow institutions of governance to do so. Meanwhile, Mr. Mtale has welcomed the decision by the Electoral Commission of Zambia ECZ to lift the suspension slapped on the two major political parties, urging the PF members to campaign within the set health guidelines.
We have all been waiting for that, and we do not want to have excuses that we did not work very well because we were banned. The door is open. We've got enough time now to exercise with our people and work with our people. It's a good thing, and we are celebrating for this. We are ready to move. When it comes to violence, the President of the Republic of Zambia, His Excellency Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu, he has denounced the violence. He has denounced what is going on currently in the country. We want everyone to adhere to that. Violence has been banned, and we are not going to tolerate violence as we are moving into the new phase of campaign that has been opened. The president has designed, and I'm expecting each and every opposition leader to do the same and to guide the people as we move forward.
Opposition Movement for Democratic Change Vice President Leonard Hekaumba says the Labour movement has been weakened under the Patriotic Front administration. Speaking when he featured on the Monday edition of the Verdict program on Camnet TV, Mr. Hekaumba says the government has made the working environment for trade unions very unconducive. He says Labour leaders are afraid of speaking out on various national issues due to alleged government interference. And Mr. Hekaumba says the debt swap is not a sustainable measure and will not benefit all civil servants. He says what workers want are progressive policies that will help stabilize the economy and boost the purchasing power of their incomes.
The story that has been trending in Zambia is that of a debt swap. The government says it is being done in a bid to safeguard civil servants, but the Movement for Democratic Change, which is part of the UPND alliance, feels otherwise. Leonard Hekaumba is the MDC vice president, and he made the remarks when he featured on the Verdict program on Camnet TV.
What is happening now, especially this debt swap which we are talking about, it's like someone who has created a problem and now tries to, or let me say someone digs a ditch and then he comes to start covering the ditch, and then he wants to be praised for covering that ditch. The question is, in the first place, why did you dig that ditch? This is exactly what we are seeing at the moment. So the PF has not done anything significant for the workers.
Mr. Ikaumba says the labor movement is working under difficult conditions.
Sympathize with my colleagues in the labor movement. Sympathy because they cannot operate freely. When we were in the labor movement, we had the liberty to stand up and criticize government where they did not do right. And we could also praise government where they did well. But at the moment, the current government is so opposed to being criticized. Any union that criticizes government is an enemy. Any union leader who criticizes government is an enemy. And we have seen how labor leaders have suffered intimidation.
And he has underscored the need to safeguard the plight of retirees in the country.
A lot is being given. We've seen marketeers, they've been given bills of Salaula. We're seeing these things. Money was being distributed. But what is happening? Why have you forgotten the retirees? Someone was telling me, you see, we retirees are treated like a bulldozer. You are used to make the road. Once the road has been made, then they will say, no, this bulldozer, it should not move on this road, it will damage the road. That is how a retiree, unfortunately, is being treated.
Patrick Soko, Camnet News.
LUSAKA-based economist YUSUF DODIA has questioned the sustainability of the debt swap going forward, saying it can lead to more national domestic debt. Speaking to Camnet TV in an exclusive interview, Mr. DODIA explains that government will have to source for more funds to finance the private lending companies, which he doubts such resources were budgeted for. He adds that the debt swap mechanism is likely to take away the lending business of the private microfinance institutions, while government becomes the major lending institution. Meanwhile, Mr. DODIA noted that the debt swap should be well executed by stakeholders to avoid a negative impact on the economy. Alex Chishimba filed this report.
The idea of a debt swap announced by the government has continued to attract criticism from various stakeholders. According to the government, the mechanism intends to aid the civil servants in settling their debt from both government and private microfinance institutions, as indebted civil servants will in the next 3 months not attract salary reduction. The question that one may ask is, how will the debt swap affect the private lending institutions? A Lusaka-based economist, YUSUF DODIA, in an exclusive interview with Camnet TV, explained some of the dangers of such a move.
Government is saying we are going to charge 25%. Then it is within the realm of competition with the private sector, meaning if the private sector was charging 30%, 40% interest, they would probably reduce to 25% to be competitive with government, so that they continue to provide this service maybe more efficiently than government, but on the same terms and conditions. So the private sector workers and public workers would benefit from it. But if there's zero interest rate, then clearly this is a kind of subsidized facility, because the banks and private lending institutions cannot give you money with zero interest. So technically the government would be taking away this particular area of business from the private sector.
Meanwhile, Mr. DODIA questioned the sustainability of the debt swap on the Zambian economy going forward.
We'll have to see how sustainable it is, which really brings us to the question of what is the impact going to be on the economy, because depending on the size of this debt swap, it will definitely demand that certain budgetary allocations are made, which are supplementary allocations, or government would have to forego some other programs in the 2021 national budget in order to finance this facility, because it was definitely not part of the 2021 budget that was formulated last year. So one then looks at it from a perspective of viability, sustainability, and of course the long-term impact.
Alex Shimba, Camnet News, Lusaka.
The Lusaka High Court Judge Sharon Newa has acquitted 4 former Twin Palm Secondary School pupils who were accused of murdering Ryan Piri, a grade 12 pupil at Kablonga Boys Secondary School. This is in a matter in which Elvis Nsokolo, 19, was jointly charged with 3 juveniles aged between 16 and 18 for the alleged murder of Ryan Piri on the 4th of December 2020 during a fight between pupils from Twin Palm and Kablonga Boys Secondary Schools. The court, in delivering a 2-hour judgment, discharged all the 4 pupils on grounds that there was no evidence linking them to the offense to state they committed the crime. Details in this report.
After spending close to 6 months in incarceration on allegation that they killed Ryan Piri, who was a grade 12 pupil at Kablonga Boys Secondary School last year, using golf sticks, these 4 former Twin Palm Secondary School pupils walked to freedom Tuesday morning when the court acquitted them from the allegations on account that no direct evidence linked them to the offense. This was in a matter where Elvis Sokolo, a former head boy at Twin Palm Secondary School, was jointly charged with 3 juveniles aged between 16 and 18 for the alleged murder of Ryan Piri that occurred on the 4th of December 2020 during a fight between the 2 schools. In a 2-hour judgment delivered Tuesday morning, the 20th of July 2021, Judge Sharon Newa said that despite Ryan telling the witnesses before his death that he was beaten by Nsokolo, there was nothing to show that the accused particularly assaulted him. She further stated that with regard to the 3 juveniles, nothing was mentioned about them and that there was also no sufficient evidence to prove that they were present at the scene when the alleged confusion by the pupils from both schools occurred. In a judgment, Judge Nawa acquitted the 3 juveniles due to lack of evidence. He said the death of Ryan, which resulted from lawlessness exhibited by the pupils from both schools, was a caution light for all schools' authority to be more careful in handling pupils' misconduct. After the court freed them, relatives could not hide their excitement.
I'm so grateful, God. This is what I wanted. My woman and Elvis, my children, salute. I have the right to come. Oh my God. I done. God, my God, stand it, my son. God, I worship you. This is what I wanted. Oh my God, what more can I say?
While from afar, the deceased family stood with sadness. Ryan, 17, was a grade 12 pupil at Kablonga Boys Secondary School and was allegedly beaten to death by pupils from Twin Palm Secondary School on December 4th, 2020. Miriam Kemba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Still in court news, the Lusaka Magistrate Court has acquitted G&G Nationwide Zambia Limited Director Christopher Banda in a case he was accused of forging a contract registration certificate and dishonestly obtaining a contract worth $1 million United States dollars from China Henan International Corporation Group Limited. This was in a matter in which Mr. Banda was accused of forging a road development agency nomination letter, a National Council for Construction certificate uttering the said documents to China Henan International Corporation and obtaining for himself a contract worth $1 million United States dollars. But in delivering judgment Tuesday, Lusaka High Court Judge Lamek Mwale, who sat as Chief Resident Magistrate in this matter, acquitted Mr. Banda on all the 5 counts he was facing after finding the prosecution had failed to prove the allegations. Details once again in this report.
After visiting the court's ground for close to 2 years on allegations of dishonestly obtaining a contract worth over $1 million United States dollars from China Henan International Corporation Group Company, G&G Nationwide Zambia Limited Director Christopher Banda has finally been set at liberty by the court. Mr. Banda was dragged to court in 2019 on accusation of forging a road development agency nomination letter, a National Council for Construction certificate, uttering the said document to China Henan International Corporation, and obtaining for himself a contract over $1 million United States dollars on the Mansa-Luwingu Road. However, in the court's judgment delivered by Lusaka High Court Judge Lamek Mwale, who sat as Chief Resident Magistrate Tuesday morning, acquitted Mr. Banda on all the 5 counts he was accused of, as the state failed to prove the case against him beyond reasonable doubts. In its judgment dated 20th July 2021, the court stated that despite former RDA Director Engineer Charles Mushota denied authorizing the nomination letter in question, during his testimony, he never showed the court his signature in order to compare it with the one that was on the document, also adding that the state did not obtain the specimen of Mr. Banda's signature to compare it with the one on the said letter. Judge Mwale further found that there was negligence of duty on the part of the investigation officer. The court further found that it was clear that the letter was signed and dispatched from RDA to China Henan, and that its copy was on the RDA file. The court, in its judgment, further said that the Supreme Court had ruled before that there were 2 conflicting positions. The court further found that Mr. Mshota, the former RDA director, authorized the letter and that Mr. Banda did not forge it, henceforth acquitted him accordingly. Miriam Kempa, reporting for Camnet TV News.
You're watching Camnet News. We take our first set of commercials. Join me shortly for more interesting stories.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962-642-490 or email jnbanda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
Your skin is the biggest muscle in your body. That's why we make sure that Oracle is #1 when it comes to taking care of your precious skin. Oracle Pure Petroleum Jelly and Glycerin soothes, moisturizes, and keeps your skin perfect. Oracle Pure Petroleum products for that perfect skin.
Africa is rising to a new dawn of integrity and accountability. Are you tired of being swindled or buying fake or illegal properties? Would you like to sell or buy genuine property? Would you like to list your property on both local and international market? Don't waste your time. Call the professionals, the SGK Properties, on +260 762 166 018. SGK Properties. Your business assurance is our priority.
Master Signs. Our services range from outdoor, indoor signage such as billboards, banners, 3D light boxes, pylons and neon signs. We are located at plot number 397A, Makeni Road, Lusaka, at Oryx Filling Station. For more details, call us on +260 967 100 090 or +260 966 999 981, or better still, Email us at infomastersign@gmail.com. Mastersign, we will make it shine.
Are you a small to medium enterprise looking to advertise your products and services within your community and across Zambia? In these economic times, we are here to help you grow your business. Advertise with us on Camnet Market. Camnet Market is offering lower rates for prime time advertising between 06 to 18 hours every day to give your business an edge under the new normal and beyond. For more details, contact us on the following numbers: 097 975 3010 or 096 296 5883, as well as 096 244 726. You can also reach us via email on info@camnettvafrica.com. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
You're still watching Camnet News. Thank you for staying on. ZESCO Limited has expressed confidence that Zambia is on the right trajectory of becoming a regional electricity hub in the Southern African Development Community SADC region by the year 2025. ZESCO Public Relations Manager Hezo Zulu says the Kafue Gorge Lower Station, whose construction began in 2016, will be functional starting 23rd July 2021 in a period of 3 days, as its construction is 100% done. She says this will give additional 750 megawatts to the current 2,800 being produced. Zipporah Mushala filed this report.
Zambia boasts of many water bodies, being rich in various rivers and lakes. Predominant on some of these water bodies is the activity of electricity generation, as Zambia's main source of power is hydroelectricity. The country has a goal of becoming a regional hub for power in the Southern African Development Community SADC region by 2025. When questioned on the progress made towards achieving this goal, ZESCO Public Relations Manager Hezo Zulu says the power utility company is confident that this will be achieved due to various infrastructure developments in the energy sector. Ms. Zulu has reviewed that construction of the Kafue Gorge Lower Power Station, which began in 2016, has reached 100% completion and will be commissioned on 23rd July 2021. She says this will give an additional 750 megawatts to the current installed capacity of 2,800 megawatts.
And we are talking about an addition of 750 megawatts. Now, when you look at our installed capacity, currently we are at about 2,800 megawatts in terms of installed capacity. So you can see that an addition of 750 megawatts will take us in excess of 3,500 megawatts. And when you look at our peak demand is around 2,300 megawatts. So you can see that we are actually able to supply electricity for local use, that is internally as a country, and it is our hope that we can actually trade in excess electricity.
Ms. Zulu also says reports from members of the public that load shedding has again started are not true, attributing such power outages to electricity faults.
We are no longer load shedding. I think we made that announcement and we still stand by it. We made that announcement in January this year. And the main reason is that we are saying that Zambia is predominantly hydropower generated, meaning that we use water to generate power. But when you look at the past season, we had very good rainfall, and therefore our national reservoirs have enough water, adequate water.
Zipporah Mushala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
The Ministry of National Development Planning says the number of girls below the age of 20 giving birth in Zambia stands at 29%. Ministry Permanent Secretary Chola Chavala says the above situation undermines girls' human rights and compromises their chances of fully realizing their socio-economic development potential. Mr. Chavala says protecting, promoting and fulfilling a girl-child reproductive health rights is necessary to ensure that girls grow into healthy, skilled, productive, independent, and responsible adults enjoying a good quality of life. The Permanent Secretary was speaking Tuesday during the virtual commemoration of the World Population Day and launch of the State of the World Population Report themed "My Body is My Own," claiming the right to autonomy and self-determination. And United Nations Sexual Reproductive Health Agency, UNFPA, Representative Gift Malunga says a reallocation of resources away from sexual reproductive services is taking a toll on the health of women and girls.
Our two themes for this year are calling for the need to pay attention to female bodily autonomy and the importance of ensuring that women are able to make choices and decisions about their bodies. Violation of bodily autonomy includes child marriages, gender-based violence, reproductive coercion, and denial of comprehensive sexual education. These violations have far-reaching implications resulting in the perpetuation of gender inequalities, as well as harmful practices that negate the well-being of women, girls, children, and the disabled.
The Ministry of Health has announced that Zambia will tomorrow, 21st July 2021, receive 151,200 doses of Johnson & Johnson's COVID-19 vaccine. The Permanent Secretary for the Ministry, Dr. Kennedy Malama, has stated that government is grateful to the United States of America for sharing these vaccines, and he says the country has in the last 24 hours recorded 1,322 new COVID-19 cases with 25 deaths. Details in this.
Government, in partnership with different stakeholders, have continued to work hand in hand in the fight against coronavirus. Disclosing to the media in a press briefing, Ministry of Health Permanent Secretary Technical Services Dr. Kennedy Malama says the country will tomorrow receive vaccines from the United Nations through the COVAX. The Permanent Secretary has since thanked the United States of America for sharing these vaccine doses.
We'll be receiving 151,200 doses of Johnson & Johnson vaccine tomorrow, Wednesday, 21st July 2021, and these vaccines will arrive with the Emirates flight. So once again, in the spirit of transparency, we invite the media to join and witness the arrival of these vaccines. Our plan is that this consignment will be skewed or tailored to the provinces which are fast moving.
Speaking at the same event, Dr. Malama has also disclosed that it has come to the attention of the Ministry of Health that certain individuals are asking the members of the public to deposit money into some accounts to purchase personal protective equipment.
It can change overnight, especially if we drop the guard. So this is not time to drop the guard. It's the time to be cautious and see how together we can fight COVID-19 to the end. Currently, as Zambia, we have a total of 9,736 active cases, of which 8,962.
Meanwhile, the country has recorded 1,323 new COVID cases and 25 deaths in the last 24 hours. Blessings Chakwila, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Media practitioners who are skeptical about taking the COVID-19 vaccine in Zambia have now embraced the vaccination program as COVID-19 cases continue to escalate following myths and misinformation surrounding COVID-19 vaccines. Journalists and the general citizenry were reluctant to get immunized against the COVID-19. Zambia's cumulative number of vaccinations to date now stands at 232,363 for dose 1 vaccinations.
When talks about the COVID-19 vaccination program started, journalists in Zambia were among the people who were reluctant to get immunized. The vaccination program was coming at a time when false social media narratives were making the rounds, and reports of blood clotting in some European countries exacerbated the issue.
Recently, the government procured defective condoms and gloves. So I think we need to see to it that government actually give us full information before we receive this vaccine.
But now, Zambian journalists who are among frontline workers in the COVID-19 response have continued to advance through the DSAT Links project and the Media Science Cafe Mesika, where they continue to interact with scientists on issues pertaining to the pandemic. Matthews Marazika is a journalist at one of the local radio stations in Zambia's capital city, Lusaka.
I'm feeling okay. There is nothing which I can say, probably I have this problem from the time I got vaccinated. No, I'm just fine.
He has a word of advice to media practitioners and citizens at large.
The person who has gotten that, so I just wish to encourage people, my fellow journalists, being one of the frontline workers, to also consider taking, the COVID-19 jab. Because that's the only way we can protect ourselves from the spread of the COVID-19, as well as from getting, the virus.
People have now embraced the vaccination program as the COVID-19 cases continue to escalate.
I never had any side effects. I can just encourage people to go and get the vaccine. We can just observe other people are also getting the vaccines, but they are not getting any, they are not showing any effects.
Authorities have continued to assure the public that vaccines are safe.
The good news is that we've in the pipeline other vaccines we're expecting. We've updated the country before. We are expecting 4.4 million of Johnson & Johnson through the Africa Union, Africa CDC AVAT platform. We are also expecting 100,000 doses of Sinopharm. Things going to plan. Within this quarter, we should receive all these vaccines.
Zambia will be receiving 150,200 doses of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine on Wednesday, 21st July 2021. The question is, will you get vaccinated or not? Patrick Soko, Camnet News.
Over 10 million kwacha has been spent in the month of June by 6 political parties on the presidential candidate billboards countrywide, according to the Transparency International Zambia 2021 Elections Project. In the distribution of presidential candidates billboards by political parties in the 12th district, the Patriotic Front accounted for the majority of billboards at 58%, followed by the Socialist Party at 18%, the United Party for National Development at 14%, while the Democratic Party, NARUP and People's Alliance for Change collectively accounted for 10% of all the presidential candidate billboards in 12 districts. TIZ Executive Director Maurice Nyambe explains that out of the minimum of 674 presidential candidates billboards found in the 12 towns, Lusaka accounted for 536 billboards in total. Meanwhile, Ndola had 38 billboards, with other notable districts such as Chipata with 25 billboards, Choma and Kitwe with 10 each, Solwezi with 17, Mongo with 9 and Kawe with 16.
Findings from our study. Now, our monitoring of presidential candidate billboards for the month of June in 12 districts across all 10 provinces revealed that Lusaka has the majority of billboards in Zambia. Out of a minimum of 674 presidential candidate billboards that we found in the 12 towns, Lusaka accounted for 79.5% of 536 billboards in total. Ndola was second on the list with 38 billboards, or 5.6% of the total number we found. Other notable districts were Chipata with 25 billboards, Choma and Kitwe with 10 each, Solwezi with 17, Mongo with 9, and Kawe with 16. Our findings also revealed that Chinsali district did not have a single presidential candidate billboard in the month of
The opposition United Party for National Development has charged that suspected Patriotic Front cadres attacked the party's youth command center in Lusaka's Thorn Park area with the tear gas canisters on the night of 19th July 2021. Speaking to some members of the media at the alleged scene, Deputy National Chairperson in charge of politics and mobilization, Trevor Mwinde, says it's disappointing that such acts are being perpetuated a few days after signing the peace accord ahead of the country's general elections. Meanwhile, Patriotic Front Media Director Antonio Mwanza, however, denied these allegations. Details in this report.
Only 23 days remain before Zambia heads to the polls for general elections on 12th August 2021, and political tension is building up among political parties in the country. The two largest political parties in Zambia, the ruling Patriotic Front PF and the opposition United Party for National Development UPND, have taken to accusing each other of various attacks. Deputy National Youth Chairperson in charge of politics and mobilization in the UPND, Mr. Trevor Mwinde, has alleged that some suspected PF supporters on the night of 19th July 2021 attacked the party's youth command center in LUSAKA Stone Park area with tear gas and other weapons.
Goes to the Zambia Police Inspector General and all other security agencies of this country to give us a conclusive report in the manner of operation under which the PF cadres are found with this kind of canisters, which we only believe are always and usually found in the hands of the Zambia police.
These allegations, however, have been denied by the PF party, as its media director Antonio Mwanza says the party does not believe in violence.
We believe it is themselves who are trying to tarnish the image of the Patriotic Front by claiming that we have attacked them. There is no reason whatsoever why we as PF can go to UPND Secretariat to go and attack them. There is nothing at UPND Secretariat. There are no people there, and there's nothing. What is there? There's nothing.
These reports come only days after various political parties, the PF and UPND included, committed to peace on 14th July 2021 by signing a peace accord ahead of the August polls. Zipporah Mushala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Let's take another breather. Join me shortly for international and sports news.
For too long, Zambian people have endured tough times, high levels of unemployment, lack of freedom, ever-increasing cost of living, poor health facilities, corruption, and injustice. Time and time again, we have been promised a better tomorrow, but things are only getting tougher. My fellow Zambians, someone is listening. Every outcry, every obstacle and pain brought by the trials and tribulations you're facing, he is listening. A leader with a heart for the people of Zambia. Only he can fix what is broken. A leader who stands for unity and prosperity across all ethnic, religious and gender considerations, to live in harmony in a free and democratic society. Change is coming. Change that will restore the country and build it from the ground up. Let's make impactful change by voting Hakainde Hichilema.
Harry Mwanga Nkumbula International Airport, located just 15 kilometers from the Victoria Falls, is now one of the best and busiest airports that Zambia has. Vote for Edgar Chagwa Lungu and the PF that have brought you change.
In this fast-paced era of industrial boom and population growth, there is need to invest in smart ways of managing electricity and water consumption and reducing utility billing costs associated with the postpaid billing system. At Savenda Electronics, we manufacture right here in Zambia different types of high-quality smart electricity and water meters to customer specifications. Savenda Electronics water and electricity meters help you monitor your usage and gives notifications such as low units, tampering, low battery, and many other features. These easy-to-use meters makes it easier to buy units even in these COVID times and top up just from the comfort of your space. Favorable contract terms are available to both electricity and water utilities. For more details, get in touch with us on the following numbers: 0956 580 349 or 0977 498 318. Savenda Electronics, the real deal.
Good day to you, our dear esteemed customers. As Zamtel, we're glad to bring something of excitement to you, and it's a promotion we've dubbed Yatu, which simply means it's yours. And in this promotion, we're giving benefits that are tailored to you specifically as a customer, depending on the profile or the segment that you're sitting on as a customer. And in this promotion, we are saying you will get from as low as 13 benefits amounting to over 500%. And it's all for you so that you get more benefits. So to know more about YATU, stay on.
YATU is a promotion that offers Zamtel customers amazing benefits that are made just for you. Zamtel customers will get amazing benefits of over 500% bonus back the value that they use when they subscribe to a YATU offer. YATU benefits will be usable for Zamtel to Zamtel calls, Zamtel to Zamtel SMSs, and browsing on pay-as-you-go defined rates. For you to access the amazing YATU offers, all you have to do is dial *335# and select option 1 to purchase the offer that best suits you. Zamtel customers will have the ability to actually purchase the YATU benefit more than once. So this means you can purchase the offer twice, you can purchase the offer 3 times, and the benefits will be accumulative at the end of the day. YATU benefits will be able to be redeemed if you subscribe to the same offer within a 5-day period. So if you have unused benefits from the previous day and the expiry date comes, you can still subscribe to the same offer within 5 days and your benefits will be able to accumulate. How amazing is that? For you to check your YATU benefit balance, all you have to do is dial *335# and select option 2 and you'll be able to see your current balance.
Africa is rising to a new dawn of integrity and accountability. Are you tired of being swindled or buying fake or illegal properties? Would you like to sell or buy genuine property? Would you like to list your property on both local and international market? Don't waste your time. Call the professionals, the SGK Properties on +260 762 166 018. SGK Properties. Your business assurance is our priority.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying on. In international news, in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, the United Nations is calling for urgent help to protect people who have been forced from their homes. Rebel attacks and onslaught of violence have displaced nearly 20,000 people. In other news, people tried Tuesday morning to stab the president of the transition in Mali, Colonel Assimi Goïta, during the Muslim rite of the Eid Adha, the Feast of Sacrifice, at Grand Mosque of Bamako. It was after the prayer and while the Imam was heading towards the exit of the mosque and slit the sheep that attempted stabbing took place. Details in these stories.
The head of Mali's junta, Colonel Assimi Goïta, was targeted in an attempted stabbing attack during Eid al-Adha prayers in the capital Bamako, the presidency said on Tuesday. Goïta was immediately evacuated from the scene after the incident. An official at the presidency later told AFP that he was safe and sound. The presidency called the attack an assassination attempt on Goïta. Latus Toure, the director of the Grand Mosque, said an attacker had aimed for the president but missed his target and wounded someone else. Some accounts said there were 2 attackers. Goïta was sworn into office last month after overthrowing a transitional government headed by Bandao. It was the second coup by Goïta in 9 months in the Sahel country beset by a militant insurgency and climate change. Goïta has vowed to stick to the transition schedule, which is set next February as the date to return to civilian rule.
Elodie can finally give comfort to her children after walking for 2 days in torrential rain to find safety. She had dashed from her home in the Democratic Republic of Congo's northern Kivu region after armed groups had descended on her village.
We had no food and we had no money to pay for a vehicle. My children's feet were swollen and our feet hurt. Where we were staying, we were rained on all the time and we had nowhere to sleep. Now we are settled.
This camp in Beni is becoming crowded and the UN Refugee Agency says it's overstretched. The region has faced many emergencies. Ongoing fighting with rebel groups in 2 provinces in Kivu and Ituri, the after effect of Goma's Mount Nyiragongo's volcanic eruption in May, and the World Food Programme says nearly 7 million people in the region are facing hunger.
We assist in emergency, so we provide tarpaulin to IDPs who have recently been displaced so that they can themselves help build some emergency shelter.
Elodie was just one of 2 million people who had been pushed out of northern Kivu in the past 2 years. That's where more than 100 armed groups are operating. The provinces of North Kivu and Ituri in the east of DRC were placed under military rule in May to stop escalating violence which had plagued this region for years. But it wasn't enough to prevent a rebel attack in displacement camps and nearby villages a month later. At least 14 people were killed, more kidnapped, and homes scorched. Now mass graves mark the area. Many pushed east into this camp in Beni, but people live in constant fear of attacks, and with overcrowded, tattered tents. People such as Bagatua were moved into this local school, but he says it's only a temporary solution.
As classes are resuming, soon the director may ask us to leave. My stay here is long overdue, but I don't know where to go next.
People have attempted to return home. Some say the violence has forced them out many times. But the UN says it's low on funding and can't accommodate the sheer volume of people seeking help.
The completion of the filling of the Grand Renaissance Dam is a milestone in Ethiopia. The country's energy minister, Seleshi Bekele, who was on site to witness the end of the process that started early this month, said the heavy rains this season made everything easier.
We are now putting the turbines in what we call Unit 10. We're installing the shaft for Unit 10 as soon as some important works are completed. In a few months, it's all about connecting it to the transformers, and this will provide the biggest outcome of this work for the people of Ethiopia, which is generating electric power.
But it is a controversial project that has raised regional tensions. Sudan and Egypt, who rely on the River Nile for most needs, are worried about the impact to their own water flows. Previous talks mediated by the African Union to hammer out a binding agreement on operations of the dam have failed. Some analysts are concerned about the overall effects of the dam on the environment. Many Ethiopians are united behind the project. Up to 65 million of them are not connected to the electricity grid.
Many Ethiopians we talked to are very passionate about the construction of the dam. They, from all walks of life, raised money to go towards the construction of the dam. We went to villages where people have never had electricity, industries that have been affected by frequent power cuts, and they told us that they're eagerly waiting for the benefits of the dam.
Officials from Sudan, Egypt and Ethiopia say there is no appetite for an outright water conflict and have expressed willingness to go back to talks. They are all in consensus that a binding legal document is needed on how what is to be the largest hydroelectric power dam in Africa will be operated. The problem has always been the detail in that agreement. Catherine Soy, Al Jazeera, Addis Ababa, Ethiopia.
Well, that's it for international news. We now look at sports news. Copper Queens coach Bruce Mwape says the team will count on the experience from previous international tournament when they host Netherlands in Wednesday's Tokyo Olympics Group F opener at Maigi Stadium. SuperSport will beam the match live on La Liga Olympic Channel 3 at 13 hours Central African Time. This is the first time the Zambian women's national team is qualifying to the Olympics, but Mwape says the experience acquired from playing at tournaments such as the Africa Cup and friendlies will give the team momentum to go forward. Mwape observes that there has been improvement in the team following the historic qualification in the March 2020, and he believed it will be key in Wednesday's fixture. After Netherlands, Zambia will face China on the 24th of July before a match against Brazil 3 days later. In other sports news, Happy Heart Football Club has passed its concern of a high number of young people doing nothing productive, but rather engaging in illicit activities. In an interview with Camnet TV, club coach Abraham Kumwenda says the COVID-19 pandemic has made many people vulnerable due to long hours of being unproductive. He has since encouraged the youth to participate in sporting activities such as the forthcoming LUSAKA FAS Provincial Division 1 League.
Young people are of great importance in a country. As such, helping them engage in more meaningful activities is beneficial to them. Sports is one field that can entertain young people rather than spending time involving themselves in malicious activities. This is why Happy Heart Club coach Abraham Kumwenda has called on the youth to participate in the forthcoming FAS LUSAKA Provincial Division 1 League.
It's very difficult just to sit at home where you are not involved in any sports which are taking place in various sports. Why am I saying so? You find that now the youths are getting exposed to things that they are not supposed to do, like drug abuse, alcohol abuse. Why am I saying so? They are being carried away with social media, what's trending, because they don't have that time to do productive things, to be busy.
Mr. Kumwenda has appealed to young people to join in sporting activities despite the pandemic.
Prepare for upcoming season for the 2021-2022 season. And it has been a bit challenging looking in the world that we are living today because of the pandemic that has struck us, and then we can never run away from it. So we have been trying by all means to put things together because we are adapting to live in a new normal.
Blessings Shakwila, Camnet News, Lusaka.
We end our news on that note. The headlines once again. 4 former Twin Palm Secondary School pupils accused of murdering their colleague walk to freedom. Over 1.8 million worth of property destroyed in political violence as ECZ lifts campaign suspension for the Patriotic Front and the United Party for National Development in Lusaka. YUSUF DODIA questions viability of debt swap on future prospects. In international news, Mali president survives assassination attempt during Muslim Eid prayer. And in sports news, Copper Queens float Dutch fall. We now look at the Camnet verse for the day, and it's coming from Proverbs 13, verse 20 to 21, and it reads, "The one who walks with the wise will become wise, but a companion of fools will suffer harm. Disaster pursues sinners, but good rewards the righteous." That's all we had for you on the desk this evening. My name is Sharon Kalimbola. Thank you so much for choosing us. Remember to observe the COVID-19 health guidelines. Good night. Thanks for choosing us once again.